I don't know what happens, but every Halloween comes around and I just like, I miss out, you know, like I'm traveling or I'm in another country or something, like something happens to where I just don't have the time to put around a Halloween costume.
It always creeps up on me.
I was in Denver last year.
I missed Halloween this year because I was in Europe, and I got back like the Saturday afternoon of Europe.
I remember that trip so vividly because this was right after RTX London, right?
Yeah.
Where Bethany and I went to Rome for like a week. And I remember asking you, like, are you going anywhere after RTX? And you're like, yeah, maybe. And I was like, well, did you plan on going anywhere? You're like, yeah. You're like, I didn't like get my return ticket until like 2 weeks later. And I'm like, you're going to go around Europe by yourself for 2 weeks? Like, that's bold and also terrifying because we went to Fiji a couple of years back and having Chris with us was like having a 6-year-old with us.
Lost.
That was just like, and that's like part of Chris's charm that he likes to just like wander off and do his thing. But when we're all trying to do things as a group, we'd have to be like, Chris, over here.
Didn't you like misbook like
Okay.
a hotel?
Yeah, maybe I had a couple screw ups, right? But overall, it was a very good trip.
What was your screw up, Chris?
Well, so my first night after RTX London, as I was booking my hotel because I was going to fly out to Berlin the next day, and I found a really cheap hotel that was like close to the train station, and then I booked
Always a good sign.
And then I'm looking for and then I go to like figure out what the trains I need to take to get to it, and then I realize it's not in the right city, and it was so I think it was confusing because the name of the city was also the name of like the train station or something. I don't remember. Liverpool. It was like Liverpool Station.
Liverpool.
But it wasn't in Liverpool?
The opposite side of the country.
So I booked the hotel in Liverpool.
You're an insane person.
No, I'm just... So I just had two...
Maps.google.com.
I figured it out. I got 2 rooms that night. So I got one in London and then one in Liverpool.
So you couldn't cancel the other room?
Well, no, because it was a 24-hour notice and I'd only booked it that day.
I imagine him standing in London. Oh, I bet the view's nice, though. Just like up in Liverpool.
But it was it worked out well. Let's see. I booked everything else. I survived. I
feel like I didn't hear enough about that trip.
What do you want to?
I want to know.
What do you want to hear?
Chris's secrets.
Well, okay. You're single, right? And you were single at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, was that trip like a good way to meet girls?
Yeah.
At one point,
anyone else?
He posted pictures of somewhere in Europe where he was wearing that fucking red bandana on his head. And I know whenever Chris is wearing that bandana, he's trashed and he's like talking to girls.
That's Chris's like adventure bandana.
Yeah. He's like it's Rambo, like jumping into adventure.
Yeah, so. You started, I think you commented on my Instagram, like, take off the fucking bandana. I was like, shut up. It was fun.
Have you busted around Trevor yet? Have you seen his bandana?
What? Mm-mm. You haven't busted that out? Talked to me? Gotten all whatever bed adventurous?
No. It's either we be doing something outdoors or getting really
Is it like Tupac where you like get it real slim and then you tie it around so the knot's in the front?
No, I do back knots.
Do you do it where like the corner comes down over one of your eyes?
No, but
and
that's
wear
a good
Band-Aid
idea.
under one of the other eyes?
It's a good idea.
Not all of us are blind.
Do you wear it from over your nose down over your mouth like a cowboy?
Whenever
cowboy
I'm
hat?
Robbing.
When you're robbing?
When I'm on.
Is that what you do when you're running around Europe?
When I get drunk enough.
You start robbing?
No, I did. I'm trying to think if I told you. Did I tell you a story about going to the sex club? Did I tell you that story?
Sex club?
Even if you have, I kind of want to hear it again. I don't think I heard this one.
So I was talking to a friend who lived in Berlin because I was in Berlin. I was like, hey, what should I do in Berlin? And then she sent me a whole list of stuff. She's like, oh, go do here. And she's like, well, and there's this one place that I think is awesome, but I don't know if you could handle it.
Ooh, challenge.
And then I was like, what is it? I'm down. I was like, at that point, I have to do it. So she's like, oh, well, it's this sex you'd have to like dress for the occasion. And,
what does that mean?
And that's what she was like. I was like, well, what do I need to? She's like, you just gotta dress edgy. and so I was like, so I went and I was like, all right, edgy. So I went to like I didn't have any edgy clothes. So I went to like a woman's clothing store and bought like a black tank top that was like really tight on me, and then some
riding that edge.
And then I got some eyeliner.
God.
And then I like wore this like really tight black tank top, and like gave myself some like emo band eyeliner.
Yeah.
And then and I think I got some glitter too.
Oh my
You
god!
think?
Why is
I
this
did.
edgy in
You
your
definitely
mind?
did.
I got some glitter, and then
I like how your term of edgy is like emo Britney Spears.
yeah, well,
Did you tight pants? Real tight pants?
yeah,
What were your pants, Chris?
just like jeans. They're just like relatively tight
Black
jeans. Yeah.
jeans.
And then so I look up this place and on Yelp, and they're like, and it's I went before it opened. I didn't realize it, and then so I'm just like hanging out.
Early bird special.
Yeah, so I'm just like hanging out outside this sex club. And I made sure too. I was like, if I go to it, that doesn't mean I have to have sex with people, right? I could just like hang out. And she's like, yeah, it's whatever, So I go to it, and then like eventually it opens, and it's like I'm just like hanging out, like having a beer or two, and I'm like, I'm like trying to make friends.
At a sex club.
Well, it's just people. It's just a bar at this point, right? And I'm going out. I'm talking to this one. Everyone. Also, I was overdressed with the black tank top. Most people just didn't have shirts on.
Why didn't you take your
Most
tank top
people
off?
Well,
Totally
I did
naked.
eventually. I did eventually take off my
When
my
he was
tank
having sex at the
No,
sex
I didn't have sex. But I was talking to this one dude, and he was like, "Oh yeah, it's a good place to come hang out. It's like I come here all the time." And
What
I was
accent is that?
Like, That's
Arnold?
sort of German. And we're just talking. And like he's like super friendly. He's just like big, like shirtless, hairy dude.
Call those bears.
Yeah. And then he's like, I'm like, cool. And he's like, all right, I'm got a drink with my friends, but I'll see you later. And I'm like, all right, cool, man. I'll see you later. And he's like, oh, if you see me, I'll be wearing this. And he like puts on like this like black leather pig face. And he's like, I'll see you later. And then like later on, like people are dancing, and I see this like black leather pig guy dancing. He's like, oh,
Oh yeah, it's me. Yeah,
Was
But,
he worked there?
no, he's just hanging out.
a regular.
Yeah.
See, that's what she meant by edgy.
Yeah, like more like leather
Leather pig.
leather pig, I guess. But it like I made out with someone.
Ooh.
And then so I was dancing with this one girl, and then she gets closer, she starts making out, we're making out, and then like kind of push, like lean back into like a little like sitting area, and then she starts choking me like out of the blue. And
Like full on choking or like sexy choking?
well, I mean, they're kind of the same.
His feet were off the ground, so I mean,
I guess it depends who you are.
Yeah, I mean, she just went chokey.
Double-handed?
Could you breathe?
Well, no, I mean, not really, but that's kind of the point of it. So she starts choking me, and then I was like, I could, after she stopped, I was like, do you want me to choke, choke you now? And she was like, yeah, choke me. So now I choke.
That's
so
how
you're both like lifting each other off the ground.
Yeah.
At any point, were you afraid you'd end up in a film like Hostel or Saw?
No,
Yeah.
no,
Where
it
your
was all
foot was
very,
chained to a pipe.
it was all
Was
very,
this the first hooker that you've ever killed?
No.
or-
no, it was just like, and that was it. Like I didn't do anything, I made out with a girl, and then she choked me. And that was about it.
Nice.
So you didn't like take her home or anything?
No. I was just,
I feel like if he did, he wouldn't tell us on the podcast.
She carried him home.
you're
and laid him
absolutely
down
right. Even if
softly.
I did, I wouldn't tell it. But I didn't.
Okay.
All I did was
Hey, yeah, man.
get choked and make out.
Uh-huh.
I did.
Sure.
I saw because there were people just like naked.
Yeah.
Like fully naked.
Yeah, fully naked. And
Were they at least wearing shoes?
I think
Good
so.
question.
I wasn't really looking at their feet.
Nice.
But I didn't actually see anyone having sex. There were people like,
False
Are
advertisement.
there like rooms?
well,
or
it was like a
something?
Wednesday night, right? So it's like not
Oh,
full.
yeah,
What if
Wednesday
it's
night's my night off.
Yeah. I'm sure there are people having sex, but it was a big old like thing. I was just mostly just like, to me, it was like I'm in Europe, and this is going to be an interesting story.
You
So
said
I'm
it was
going to go.
Berlin, right?
Yeah, it was in Berlin.
I feel like that's like kind of a must see when you go to.
That's what everyone said. It's like, oh, Berlin, like there's like crazy like clubs and sex clubs. Like you should go to this.
I do like how you're like, oh, people weren't having sex because it was Wednesday. That's like saying like I went to an ice cream shop on Wednesday, but they weren't serving ice cream.
Well,
Like, it's
people were
fucking-
fooling
it's a
around.
fucking sex club.
Yeah.
Sex is for the weekends.
I mean, I'm sure people had sex too, but there's like different layers and rooms and stuff. So I was probably just like getting choked while someone else was boning, and I missed out.
I heard from a friend who went to Berlin for like Gamescom or something, or wherever Gamescom is, and there was like a multi-floor sex tower where the higher the floor level you went, the weirder the sex got. and it sounded like really exotic and fun, but it also sounded like a video game. Where it's-
We have
to make our way to the top.
You work your way through every floor.
You like I fucked this level. Now let's go to the next.
The
or
rooftop's the boss level.
No one's ever gone all 37 floors in one night.
What would be on floor 37?
something. Oh, I don't know.
It's just Chris.
The guy with the pig mask.
Yeah,
yeah.
Chris with his tank top.
Oh, Harry, you're
Chris
here.
getting choked.
Dawson,
It's
you see?
He starts choking you on floor 37.
I was hoping you would say that in the story, like as soon as the girl heard your American accent, she was just like, no, just like walked
Or
away.
she just like lessens her choke.
She's like, oh, I better lose some.
The Americans kind of
Or
take
she starts strangling more. It's like,
Yeah.
American.